In this video, we're going to go through an example of a woman who has 2 degrees, she has a very strong educational background, but she's struggling to find a job. Why does this type of scenario happen, right? Typically in the West, you're told to work hard, study hard, get top grades at high school, at college, at university, and you'll walk into a high-paying 6-figure job or a well-paying job, whatever that would be. But in many cases, that's not working out for people. So let's listen to her story and see what she has to say.
I have 2 degrees. Oh, and a certificate. A little extra, right? I have a certificate. It may not be a master's, but it's something extra along with the 2 degrees. Yeah. I'm trying to apply for jobs right now, and the thing is that the only person I have responding to me is a man from a tech company saying, hey, you want to answer some customer service problems? You want to answer some customer service calls? No, Bart, I don't want to answer your calls. No, no offense, but I'm a little more qualified than to be sitting around answering your customer service calls. Bart, okay?
So what's important to learn here is that she is incredibly naive, and this is what you need to understand. Is so many things right now in this system are a scam, and one of the scams are higher education. There's nothing wrong with studying hard and getting a relevant degree, but you always need to think about marketable skills. So ultimately, careers have changed, right? She was probably better off doing 1 degree, not doing 2 degrees in the certificate that she obtained, by doing an internship. And I myself worked at some of these top banks, Goldman Sachs, HSBC, Morgan Stanley, and I studied at LSE, which is a top university within the UK and globally, right, for economics. And the thing that I realized when I was at London School of Economics is to get the experience. So I ended up doing 2 summer internships. One of them was at a financial data firm called Market, and one of those internships was at HSBC in the investment banking sales and trading divisions. And then I took that into a full-time role, and then I moved up and built my career by working at different companies. Now, the key point here is that I understood at that time when I was at university at London School of Economics, is that essentially you need to... There's my degree certificate, and that's the university if you want to look up that particular university. What it was is I understood you need the experience. There's many people getting top degrees. There's many people getting firsts in economics and getting the honors degree or whatever. Those things don't really help you stand out. Everyone's getting those degrees. So this woman who's kind of presenting herself like a super smart girl, she should have got the experience. And that's what I'd encourage you to do. Build your skills and complete your degree if you want to, but make sure you have marketable skills. If you have good skills in sales and marketing, and you have some track record of generating a certain amount of sales for a company, that would help push you forward rather than just simply having 2 degrees. Myself, I'll give you a good example. I did that degree at a London School of Economics. It was like an economic history and economics degree. So I developed writing and math skills too, and economic financial knowledge. I had someone else, and I managed to get a job offer, right? I had someone else who wasn't focused on getting experience. They got a first in their economics degree. They didn't really focus on getting any real world experience, and they got better grades than me in a sense, but they really struggled to get a job. And when they did get a job, it was kind of a back office job that they really didn't want, right? And they were kind of overqualified for, but because they didn't get the experience, they couldn't push forward. So she, in this case, should take that call center degree, a call center job, and turn that call center job into customer service in IT help desks. Those jobs do pay relatively well for a beginner, and then she could take that into building the same way she's built her educational studies through these degrees, build her career step by step, and then go from that to a more higher profile technical role after she's done the customer service thing for a few years. She doesn't seem to understand that, and she seems to think the degree is going to carry her through the rest of her life, and that's not the case. You need to focus on building a strong network on LinkedIn, reaching out to recruiters, presenting yourself professionally, and also understanding that careers have changed, right? You can't just have this old school approach of high school, college, university, get good grades, walk into a job and work the job for 40 years, retire, and spend the rest of the last 20 years of your life relaxing. It's not really that. That's not how it's going to work. And if you're stuck in this mindset, that's kind of why I provide my coaching program, to help you find those alternative solutions to understanding this is not going to work. And in many sense, as I mentioned, doing those summer internships when I was at university, that was worth more than my degree, right? Even though I did kind of technically study at this top university, I'm pretty sure my experience helped me way more than that so-called, high-class degree at a top university. That's the important thing for you to kind of consider here, right? Your experience is worth more than your degree, and the more years of experience you have are worth way more than whatever your degree is. Your degree will become irrelevant after a point. They'll just look at the name of the university you went to, right? And that might add to your brand, your professional brand of being linked to some high profile companies. So what you need to understand is that, like, you know, you need to think about your leverage here, and your degree will only provide you with so much leverage. The experience is worth way much more. And one thing I wanted to add, let's just finish up this video and then I'll move on.
I'm sorry, but Bart is the only one who's responding to me. So what am I supposed to do? And you know, I'm looking down at these and I'm looking at them and I'm kind of wondering. I'm like, what was this for again? Oh, I don't know. It's me.
So this is the reality, and one thing I want to advise you is that if you're in a position where you're in the middle class, you're not in the upper middle class, or you're maybe not in a position where some people are, will end up with a high paying job regardless of how intelligent they are, you should focus on a degree that provides marketable skills, right? For example, when I was thinking about picking a degree, one thing I was kind of keen on is doing something like public broadcasting, doing some kind of communications degree, because I was interested in like talk radio. This is way before podcasts, and it could have paid off in a sense. I could have become a famous podcaster, but in many cases that could have not worked out. I could have been like a back office, kind of admin guy at a radio station. But you can only really do those type of meme degrees, those liberal arts degrees, if you are someone who's essentially like this, right? And who's this? You might not know what this is, but this woman on the left is Stephanie McMahon. She's the daughter of a CEO called Vince McMahon, and they run the WWE, and that's her husband on the right, and Ronda Rousey, who's a UFC fighter, and they manage that wrestling company, WWE. I don't know if you know, pro wrestling, the biggest wrestling company there is. Now, one thing to point out here is she did a communications degree, and she does have good communication skills, so I guess it did pay off. But she could do that degree like communications, right? Or some super generic degree, that kind of, general business studies degree type of thing. Because she had a job guaranteed from her father, right? Her father did train her kind of well to be at first when she was junior, a receptionist, then like middle management, and then senior management and things like that. So he did put her through the ringer so she can manage that role. But the point is, her degree was communications. Now, I am someone who grew up in like the lower middle class in the UK, and you have to pick a degree based on how much money it can make you. So when you pick a degree, think about, okay, look at the salaries that people are actually earning at the mid-level, because typically you might want to be at the top of your career and be a managing director. Not everyone makes it to managing director. So look at the average income earned by most people who studied your degree, like say finance, after 10 years within the finance industry. What's the average salary? That's what you should be looking at as a realistic output of what you could earn. If you don't pick a degree that's just something that interests you, like an English degree, a history degree, those things rarely pay off, because you go and present that to a company. Say you do a history degree and then you want to go and work for Goldman Sachs. They're going to be like, okay, how does this actually benefit? How is this relevant to us? Whereas I picked a kind of unique thing where I had an economics and economic history degree. So I was more interested in the economic history part, and it helped me develop writing skills and report writing skills. And the economics helped me understand how the economics work and finance and things like that. So that's a good balance of the two, right? But I want to point out, if you're a multimillionaire, then go and pick the meme degree. If your father's a billionaire, go and pick the meme funny degree, whatever interests you, right? The reality is that only the rich people can study for fun. You study to make money in most cases, right? You're not studying for fun. So you should take this woman as like a life lesson. If you're studying right now and you're doing an MBA, is that MBA, for example, because not everyone I'm talking to right now is around university age. If you're older and you're completing a professional qualification, is there a direct link between that professional qualification and higher pay? If you're doing an MBA, are you going to get a 20, 50 grand boost in your salary? Are you studying any type of professional qualifications? I know when there's certain professional qualifications I was going to pursue, and then I realized this is not really going to result in higher pay. What's the point? Yeah, I might develop some additional niche knowledge that could somewhat pay off, but it's not really like going to pay off, right? Unless you're some people out there, if you're studying an accountancy qualification, that's kind of needed to get that higher pay and get those high demanding jobs. So that's something you need to really consider, right? what are you really pursuing here? If you're studying a degree, master's, PhD, is that going to pay off? And if it's not, if you can't see a link between that and a higher paying job, probably don't do it. Spend that time, finding a higher paying job. And then if you have a general interest in it after work, in your spare time, you can read books about it, right? I avoided doing a philosophy course at college because I was like, end of the day, that's not really going to generate higher income for myself, is it? So there's no point pursuing that. Now, as I say, I'm someone who has worked at those top banks I mentioned it earlier, and studied at top university. I'm here to help you make good life decisions for your career, your education, your finances, and so on. And I offer 3 solutions that can help you. The first one is a free ebook. All the links are in the description for all these 3. A free ebook, so you've got some 10 career lessons there. Secondly, a free discovery call where I can talk you through some of the general issues that you might be having with regards to your career or finances. And thirdly, I offer a in-depth coaching program, which will help you provide you with career fulfillment through providing a career that you actually enjoy and that is building skills for long-term success, helping you with time freedom, whether it's remote work from home, things like that. And then through managing your budget, savings, and investments, I'll help you be rich forever and build a life you actually love, rather than just going through the standard 9 to 5 that you don't like, that is not really providing a long-term stability for you that you're looking for. So thanks for listening. There are 2 recommended videos on your screen right now, a free ebook in the description, and I'll see you next time.